Recording. All right, welcome to Ahead of the Count, episode 6. Today we got Caitlin Burdash. It's been a while, I know, but we're back and we're on video. So if you're watching this on YouTube, welcome. And from here on out, you only see video. So yeah, before we get into her intro, we got behind the camera, Brendan Riley.
Hey, what's up, guys? Glad to be here. First podcast.
So Brendan actually runs the Twitter account for me. So yeah, follow him on Twitter. What's the handle?
_ B Riley 37, something like that.
Dude, the Ahead of the Count Twitter.
Oh shit. Oh, that. Oh, okay.
Ahead OTC Pod.
Something like that. Yeah. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it is that.
All right, and so Caitlin, get into who you are, what you do.
Hi guys, my name is Caitlin Burdash. I am the CEO and founder of a company I like to call Burdashcast Bikinis. I make handmade swimwear and apparel products like dresses, bikinis, skirts, and I'm even getting into tops now. Everything is handmade by me, and I started my business almost a year ago.
So handmade, what does that entail? Is that like sewing? What exactly kind of goes into that?
All my products being handmade basically means that I'm having a mental breakdown all the time because I have to make an insane amount of orders within 2 to 4 weeks of processing times to make my customers happy. So that involves me making samples, having a photo shoot, putting them on my website, and then the orders start coming in. So I organize everything in this little system I have going on. Everything is done in my room in my college apartment. So it can get really chaotic and unorganized, but it's a great process. I have 2 sewing machines on my desk. So instead of doing schoolwork on my desk, I do that in my bed, and I do my sewing work on my desk.
When did you start Burdash Bikinis?
I started Burdashcast Bikinis during this past quarantine in March or April. So almost a year ago today, the whole thing started, and it all started because I was bored. And I've always had this dream of creating this business. I didn't know what it would entail, what I wanted it to be. I had no idea it would have been handmade bikinis, like me making everything by myself. So looking back and seeing what it's turned into, I'm completely shocked, but I'm very, very proud.
So you started this in lockdown, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So what, you were just kind of bored one day and you're like, hey, want to start a bikini company, or like how that?
I always wanted to make stuff. I didn't know it would be bikinis necessarily. I learned how to sew when I was younger, probably like 7 or 8, and then never really got back into it. It kind of wasn't that cool in high school. No one was really like, oh yeah, I sew. So there's nothing really like to relate to. Mm-hmm. So in college, I study entrepreneurship with FSU's the Jim Moran School of Entrepreneurship. So I'm in like the retail segment. So all my classes are about fashion design, and it's really awesome. So having that background kind of made me feel really comfortable learning how to sew again. I watched a lot of YouTube videos, so that definitely is a big reason why I feel like confident in my sewing abilities. But I did learn everything over quarantine.
So did you come to FSU for the retail school, or is that something you changed up in the past year?
Well, so when I came to FSU, I was a freshman in 2017. Yeah, wow, that's so long ago. But when I came to FSU, I was actually a communications major, and I wanted to be a journalist, and did not end up doing that. I joined the Jim Moran major when I was probably like the spring of my freshman year. That's when I switched, and it was just like the best decision ever. Like I love writing and I love journalism, but that definitely was not my path. I definitely have like a passion for just designing and creating for other people, and seeing people wearing everything. It's like, wow, no way I did that.
Yeah, no, I completely feel that, especially starting this podcast. I just wanted to do something to where I could like create, and I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to create out of it. I'm kind of glad, I guess, where we're going with it and what's happening and everything, but definitely one of those, I'm just like you, just wanting to create. But what goes into the process of you making a bikini?
So I always start just mindlessly going through Instagram, Pinterest, looking up like the latest runway shows in New York Fashion Week, trying to figure out what the trends are going to be in the upcoming seasons. It's really important for me to stay ahead of the trends. That way I'm kind of coming out there with things that people want and it's not out of the ordinary. So once I get kind of the idea of what I want to create, I have a sketchbook, I sketch it, I start looking up different patterns and designs. I have to test out, so I make a ton of samples. So basically I have all these patterns and they're all cut in these like pattern paper. And so I'll pin that onto the fabric, cut it out. So then I'm left with these like different pieces that they don't look like a bikini. It's just like fabric. And then I'll take them through, first I use a serger, which is an overlock machine. That way it really makes the thread sturdy. That way your bikini isn't falling apart when you go down a water slide or you ride the waves at the beach. So using the sergers, it's a new investment too. So it was kind of expensive, but it makes my process like half the time it used to be. So then after I'm done with the serger, I'll take those pieces onto my sewing machine, top stitch everything, flip it all inside out, and then pull some pieces through, and then there we have a bikini.
Wow, that sounds like something that's like way beyond me.
Yeah, it's difficult to explain when you don't know like what everything kind of is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I hope I did a good explanation.
I think you nailed it right on the head. I think I could probably sew one like maybe with a little bit of practice. Actually, I take that back, probably not. So you've been owning a business for over a year now.
Yes.
What are like the trials and tribulations of like owning a business like 1 year in?
There's definitely been a lot of trial and error, and it sucks when you hit the error and you're like, okay, what do I do now? You just kind of have to deal with it, figure out what you've learned from doing something wrong. So a funny story is when I launched my first collection a year ago, I had free shipping on all the orders, and I didn't calculate that into my like expenses. So I basically gave all the people who ordered on the first day free shipping, so you're welcome. And that came out of my pocket. So that was like $10. I just kind of like, I was like, okay, I'm not getting that back. It's okay. But then I had to learn how to use Shopify a lot more. So that was definitely the biggest bust, was wasting my money kind of. So after I got a handle on Shopify and learning the platform and how that e-commerce channel works, I was able to kind of like work my way into the more detailed parts of the website, and now it's like a complete masterpiece. I love how everything looks. I understand the platform, but that was definitely the biggest trial and error. And then also just like making the bikinis, like you like mess up sometimes, and it sucks because you just wasted all that fabric and that time. But I don't know, you just learn the methods. Definitely everything is really trial and error, and yeah.
So do you feel like you see a return on your investment in like the first year? Just 1 year in?
Yeah, definitely. I started my business with probably like $600 to $800, and I tripled that within the drop of my first collection. And I've seen a growth since. Definitely in the fall and winter time, it's kind of slow. So that's how I expanded my line into dresses and tank tops and skirts. They don't sell as much as the bikinis, but in the future, I definitely feel like they will when people become more aware of my brand.
Yeah, so where do you see your brand going from here?
I have no idea. So I'm a senior in college, so it's like I have this choice to make. Do I want to follow my dreams and finish what I started, or do I want to like take a break, make money on the side, maybe make it a side hustle? I personally would love to just move to Hawaii, live in a little shack, have my sewing machine, and just make bikinis all day. So it's like, do I want to do that, or do I want to get a job and save up? It's a difficult decision, but I think I'm in no rush, honestly. So I feel like I'll just figure it out with time. Everything happens for a reason. That's my biggest thing. So
you talked about like finding a good or getting a good return on your bikinis in the first year. Talk about like what the School of Entrepreneurship has kind of given you.
Okay, so the School of Entrepreneurship offers you just kind of insight into how you should run a business and also kind of retail management. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. And so it also allows you the opportunity to decide like, hey, if I want to start a business, I kind of know how, but also if I want to manage a retail store, I can do that too. So for me personally, I do in the future. I would love to have a storefront, ideally. Like, I don't know if that can ever happen. I hope it will. I'm going to manifest that right now and say that I will have a storefront one day. But I'm going to have insight in how to manage that store as well as running the business as a whole. So that's one of the awesome things is you get like a wide range of opportunity from the School of Entrepreneurship.
In Florida State, I guess specifically with the School of Entrepreneurship, they do invest in their entrepreneurship and in their entrepreneurs, right?
In their students, yeah. Mm-hmm. So it was really awesome. I had this opportunity to apply for the Jim Moran micro grant, and I was awarded $5,000 for my business from FSU and the Jim Moran grant committee. So I had to give a pitch, and it was really nerve-wracking, and I was terrified, but it ended up going really well, and they gave me all the money I asked for. So I'm definitely going to use that money to invest in my future of the business and try and see how like far I can go with it.
That's actually really crazy. $5,000 can do a lot to a company.
Yeah, and it was like it just feels like it was, I don't know, it feels like it was handed to me. It's like, what did I do to deserve this? I have no idea, but it's like awesome. Oh. So I haven't received my grant money yet because I am like filing as a legal entity. Mm-hmm. So once I have that completed, what the cool thing is too, they offered me to work with the FSU Business Law Clinic. So it's like third year FSU law students, and I jumped in on their class really fast, and they kind of did like a little session with me to figure out the like legal parts of running a business, which is really cool. And the grant committee also had me work with a CPA to understand like sales tax and paying taxes. That is something I have no idea about. I'm never going to understand taxes, so it was really cool to have someone's insight, like a legit CPA. Be like, this is what you need to do it. And I'm like, thank you.
I believe Brendan's roommate actually studies tax law.
That is just such a crazy, like, I don't know how people do that.
I don't know how people do that much school, man.
No.
I don't know how they do it.
No.
Some pretty difficult stuff, too. Yeah. Tax law, there's a lot of reading.
That, as far as, like, law school is concerned, that is, like, the hardest of the hard and the stressfulest of the stressful. By the way, if you hear, like, any noise coming out from, like, outside the mic, we're in a study room.
Yeah, we're good.
We're in a study room. Just a heads up to everybody out there. Going back to what we were saying, though, shameless plug to Burdash Bikinis. Just dropped a new line. How did that go? Was it a pretty successful drop?
I had to go order like 10 yards of all the fabric. So it went really well. I sold probably double what I did for Summertime Madness, which was a hit for my first collection. So I'm definitely seeing a growth already.
Wow, that's really cool. And then as far as like social media is concerned, what are you doing to grow your social media?
Yeah, so social media marketing is so big now because everyone's on social media. I just wrote an essay on this too, which is like awesome that stuff ties into what I'm doing. But social media is so important, and it's important to be engaging with like your consumers. So I like to do a lot of like activity on my social media. I post every day. I even have like an intern group who helps me run my social media, and without them I'd be like flustered because I have so much on my plate already. Social media is the last of my worries, but it's definitely a big advertising strategy.
So you have your friends modeling for your company? How has that like helped grow your social media?
Yeah, so that's a big thing that I always have kind of stood by, is I want the people who are buying my products to be my models. So if that even means some random person who bought my bikini, I don't know them, they post a picture and tag me in it, that could become like a product picture, just because like that's amazing to see like these like girls who all look different wearing like the same bikinis. And it just kind of shows like the expansion of what beauty is. Beauty is feeling confident. It's feeling beautiful. And anyone has the capability to feel like that. So I love including my friends because I look at them and I see beautiful women who have like a confidence, and they're happy and they love what they're wearing and they just feel it on the inside, so it shows on the outside. So I feel like that helps with social media and just kind of like advertising and marketing, because it's not your typical model. Even though they're all beautiful, they're models in my eyes. They're not like what you see walking down the Victoria's Secret runway, but they're all still beautiful women. Was that mean? Is that mean if I say that?
No.
Okay.
No, I was just going to say it's kind of inspiring me to throw on a bikini and take pictures, honestly.
I want to look good in bikini.
I want to feel beautiful.
It's just kind of a way to, just for women, like wearing a swimsuit can be like a difficult task for a lot of people. Like insecurity is something that lies within a lot of females, especially with social media. So I feel like being very authentic with my brand and making it a brand that stands for just like self-love and feeling beautiful no matter what, it really helps.
So I guess kind of going off that, if you were somebody that wanted to start a clothing company, what's like kind of the best way to go about that? Because, you know, I think one of the biggest things is creating an audience, but how do you jump into that world of business?
It's definitely that's where we go again with the trial and error thing. It was not easy. I have no idea, like when I started, I had no idea what I was doing. It was just kind of trial and error. I had an idea and I ran with it. I go, here's a social media account. Let me post a picture of my logo. And then it started. And it was actually called Katie's Bikinis at first. And my friend Lexi, actually, we just figured that out the other day. Like my friend Lexi was the one who wrote in our group chat and was like, I kind of like Burdash bikinis. And I'm like, okay. And it went from there. And it's kind of, my friends were excited. I was in a sorority at the time, and all the girls were just ecstatic, and they were thrilled that I did something like this. So I was getting reposted everywhere. It was just friends of friends, word of mouth, and then the people who have like kind of recognized my brand, who follow it now, they're even reposting, and I don't even know them. So it's just amazing to see like the variety of people who are just supportive of what I'm doing.
How have you I guess kind of gotten help throughout the way? I know that we were talking like when we met up to plan this podcast or whatever. You said that you had like some friends like out of state helping you with some things. Like, how have you kind of like sought out people to help you?
So people kind of came to me because they saw what I was doing. They go, my friend Zach, he is the one who helped me make my logo, and he helped with a lot of the Shopify, just creating the website and everything too. He saw what I was doing. He was like, this is awesome. I want to be a part of it. Same thing with my friends. They're like, when can I model? I'm like, let's do this. Like, it's just amazing because it's like kind of a community that's been built from Burdash bikinis. And it was just me at first. And then my friends are like, I want to wear one. I want to buy one. Like, so without like having that community and that support from my friends and family, it would have never grown to what it is. Definitely on those like days where I was feeling like giving up, my friends would be like, Katie, you're doing so well, you have to keep going. And that was something that it was so minimal what they said, but it just was like, okay, you believe in me, so I could do this.
Yeah, definitely. And shout out your friend Natalie Bitts. That's actually how we
thank you, Natalie.
That's how we got this to even happen. Actually, shout out Bailey Kossoff.
No, shout out Natalie.
Shout out both of them.
You guys are awesome.
They're awesome.
Thank you for supporting entrepreneurship.
Mom and dad.
Yeah, my mom and dad.
Yeah. Bailey,
have fun.
Coast Guarding.
In the Coast Guard.
We miss you. We'll have him on the podcast when he's back. So
that'll be awesome.
Be ready for that.
That'll be really cool.
Maybe we have Natalie on too.
Natalie's got to jump on.
She's got to jump on the podcast, I guess. But yeah, no, I mean, friends supporting you is definitely the best thing. I don't think I would be here without my friend support or anything like that. But you were, just because of Bailey and Natalie, you were the first person that actually like reached out and was like, or not, yeah, I guess reached out through mutual friends to do the podcast. So, you know, I really appreciate you.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a big thing to network and just you meet someone and you never know who you're going to meet. That's the thing. Always treat everyone with the same amount of respect. Give the janitor the same respect you give to the president. You never know what people can do for you.
Yeah, that's facts.
I gotta ask, wait, so where are you from? If you know these mutual friends, like...
Natalie is my roommate, but I'm from South Florida. I'm from Weston.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, me and Mitch are both from Orlando, so
my dad lives in Orlando. He lives in downtown Orlando.
Oh, cool. That's pretty dope. I like downtown.
Yeah, I don't really know much about Orlando, but it's cute.
It's all right.
It gets the job done.
It does. It's all right.
It's the job done.
It does what I ask.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good place to grow up, I think. Did you grow up in South Florida? Or did you grow up in... Where?
I was born in New Jersey, in a small town near a farm. And then we took the move to Florida when I was like 2. So all I know is Florida. And I know South Florida. I know the sunny beaches, growing up, going to school, then going to the beach and hanging out for the rest of the day.
So would you say that you prefer like beaches over mountains?
100%. You will catch me living my best life in Hawaii in the next 10 years.
What about if there was like a place like, I don't know, a mountain next to a lake?
Definitely not the same.
No.
There's just like this feeling about being in the ocean. I feel really connected to the ocean and beaches just from growing up there, but also just like, this sounds weird, but like just having my feet in the sand, it's like indescribable. It just makes me feel connected to the earth. Same thing with swimming in the ocean. It's like you feel free. I feel like my spirit animal is definitely like a turtle, just because they're
Dang. That's such a good spirit animal. I never even thought about like...
It's my favorite animal. I just love everything they're about, their vibes. It just reminds me to like feel free and not feel like connected to one thing. Like they swim and they live their best life. Even if there's like a shark trying to eat them, like...
I gotta say, kind of funny story. I was walking on the beach with my mom the other day, and she was talking about how people that live next to the beach and stuff like live a more like meaningful life, quote unquote, because she claimed that when you're barefoot, like people by the beach are barefoot more often, and she said that they have a closer connection to the earth. Mm-hmm. So I mean,
that's funny.
That's kind of crazy that you said that, and I feel like my mom said the exact same thing.
Shout out Geraldine.
Yeah, shout out Geraldine. I'm gonna start walking barefoot more often, I think.
Like circling back to Burdash bikinis, I think, you're even more connected to the beach now that you have your own bikini company.
Well, when I was growing up, my biggest thing was like going to the beach. So I needed to have the cutest bikinis. Like it was an addiction. I shopped with like my favorite brands were like Monsi, Frankie's, Chaos, like those were just the coolest brands to be wearing. So it's cool now that I'm doing the same thing. I'm kind of looking back at the people who inspired me and I'm like, wow, like if you did it and like you inspired me to do this too. Like make swimwear fashionable, make the beach a runway. Like
yeah, they should have a runway on the beach. I would go to that.
I make the beach my runway.
Wow, that's a good statement, right?
That's a quote. That's a quote of the cast right there.
I think we're gonna like advertise that statement right there. I don't know. We'll see.
It's like a team of interns working for you now?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. How many you got?
I got 3 interns and they all just have a specific day of the week that they post on the Instagram. So it's just something to kind of make me feel a little less stressed about because in the beginning when I didn't have like a little group of people to help me out, it was like, oh my gosh, I have to go post this Instagram picture because I haven't posted today and like I'm not keeping up with the engagement. So it would be like a few days without posting and that's like not cool. I wasn't happy with that and I wasn't proud of myself for not really working hard on that, but it can get really, stressful with being a full-time college student and also running a business, making everything by hand. So having like someone who knows about social media, it definitely helps just to have someone, all you do is post a picture, not that hard. Mm-hmm. So, but it's something that just adds up to my time.
So I know that like a lot of majors at Florida State, you need an internship to graduate, right? Business majors and stuff like that?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I feel like I could totally take on an actual like intern who could get credit. I would just it would be more than just posting on Instagram.
Yeah, there is a requirement to have something like that though, I think.
For my major, there was a requirement for an internship. So that's actually a funny story. That's the first time I was ever like rejected from a job and something that I like thought I really wanted. So that kind of threw me in the direction of creating my own business. So it was an internship for Ross. It was a buying internship. So they flew me out to New York City.
Wow.
Yeah, they
so
literally
cool.
sent me a plane ticket and they go, hop on the plane. We have a driver picking you up at the airport to take you to your hotel room that we're paying for. So it was very legit. So I went to the New York. I had on my business outfit, walked over to Ross, had the interview. I didn't think it went well. It didn't go well. I didn't get the job and my friends did. So that was something that was kind of difficult for me to be like, shoot, but did I really even want this to begin with? Like, they really wanted it. I didn't. So that's where I kind of took the, like, motive of everything happens for a reason. Like, this didn't happen. I thought I wanted it to happen so bad because I thought that was the only option for me, and it wasn't. Turns out if that would have happened and I was in New York over the summer, I would have never started Burdash Bikinis. This is something that I'm so in love with and passionate about, but it's like, I didn't want to be a buyer in New York. Yeah. It's definitely an awesome opportunity. Like, it's amazing for people who want to do that, but that wasn't for me. Mm-hmm. And without that rejection happening and me feeling lost for months on end, I would have never started Burdash Bikinis.
Wow. That's really crazy, actually. You had to pitch your business to a group of people at Florida State. How much of your personality kind of applies to, like, selling your business?
So the pitch was kind of difficult because it was about receiving a grant. So that's a lot of money. So they needed to know what exactly I was going to do with this money. So I kind of let my inner businesswoman take over, and I had all the math down to a T. Everyone was very impressed, but I feel like I almost didn't show enough of my personality, but they could definitely tell that I was hardworking and I took this seriously. And I think that was a big reason why they were like, here you go, here's this grant money, because this was something that I was like so down to a T about. Every equation had an answer. So it was, yeah.
So where did, I guess, that mentality of, like, the little things come from? You know, where did you get that? Where'd you get that mindset?
It just came from, this is serious. This is something that I actually can do. Like, people are actually going to give me money for this. So I had to take it seriously. And I never really did that before. I feel like I didn't have a set, like, here's labor per hour that I pay me, my business gets this amount. Like, I never had that. So it was difficult, like, when I was paying my business, was I really paying my business or was I paying, like, myself?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you said that your business is like a sole proprietorship? Or is that what you're going for?
It's a sole proprietorship, meaning it's just me, but it's an LLC, like established LLC.
Mm-hmm. That's where we want to be.
You put work into something and it will definitely get there. That's something I learned too. It's like, it's not going to be where you want unless you're actually doing the work. And do it the way don't let someone else do it. You do it because you're the only person who can make what you want happen.
Yeah, that's true. Nobody can really, like, see you or even read your mind, you know?
Yeah, if you have a vision, you have to be the one to, like, make it happen, make it a reality.
You reap what you sow in a way. I mean, I'm a firm believer in, like, if you do it, you can make it happen if you want it to happen.
But you really want it to happen.
Yeah.
You can't just be, like, lollygagging and be in La La Land all day. You have to put in the work to get the product.
Did just close anything, really, I guess. Did you learn or gain any skills or knowledge from past experiences that has, like, led you to kind of your business?
Definitely. I feel like every experience I've had has led me to become the person I am today. And without any, like, good experiences, obviously, but also the bad experiences and stuff that was, like, kind of a struggle has allowed me to just learn. And I take every opportunity I'm given. And if it is a success or a failure, no matter what, I'm learning something. So I look at my failures even as my successes, if that makes sense.
You know, have you ever watched The Office before or no?
Not a big Office person.
So I guess you could say that your greatest weakness is actually your greatest strength.
Yeah, no, definitely. That makes a lot of sense, I guess.
I saw this one meme that said, like, The Office is off Netflix, so all you guys can gain an original personality for once. I kind of felt it. I was a big Office guy myself. But then I realized everybody's a big Office person, so then I didn't really feel that special anymore.
It was just mindless TV, in my opinion.
Yeah. What's, like, a good TV show for you?
I like Project Runway.
I was just going to say Project Runway.
America's Next Top Model is hilarious. I think it's just funny because it's, like, back in the 2000s. Like,
is that still a show or no?
No.
Oh, okay.
Tyra Banks was the host of that, right?
Tyra Banks is a queen. I love her. She said some messed up stuff on the show, though. Like, definitely stuff that's kind of, like, sensitive to, like, topics nowadays, like, in society.
Really?
Yeah, they're all on TikTok. I'm on America's Next Top Model TikTok.
I mean, I feel like it's modeling. There's probably some pretty controversial stuff that's said always.
Modeling in general, that's, like, kind of why I, like, do my modeling the way I do with my business. I like having girls, like, obviously in the future, I'd love to have girls of all, like, sizes. That way I can showcase just that.
Just a wide range of people.
Just, like, that's, like, a difficult thing to talk about.
Yeah, definitely.
Why not target more people? Why not do stuff like that? Why not include everybody, right?
Exactly.
Accept everyone the way that they are.
Yeah, no, because everyone is beautiful no matter what. That's the thing about beauty, and that's, like, what I like to kind of showcase with my brand is that no matter what you look like, what size you are beautiful no matter what. So feel confident in the bikini you're choosing to wear. Like, let yourself feel beautiful.
Yeah. I'd say that, like, something that makes up a good or a beautiful person would just be being themselves.
Exactly. Being yourselves and, not being afraid, being authentically you. And I think that's something that I try to showcase with Burdash Bikinis too, is that I like to be authentic myself, and it can be a struggle, and it definitely is a struggle for a lot of, especially women, but I'm assuming men too. Like, sometimes it can be a struggle. You feel insecure, but you, at the end of the day, you're you, and nobody else is you.
Like, a lot of people, you wouldn't even know that they were struggling, but
and that's the thing with social media, is it doesn't really depict a true reality of what someone's typical day is. But I feel like now, because of social media just expanding and growing, we are seeing more of a authentic and natural side to people on social media platforms.
Yeah, and I think that kind of goes into, like, another topic that I'm sure we've talked about when we were kind of reviewing, but, like, a lot of people kind of have, like, a misunderstanding of, like, what exactly, like, wealth is. And I was talking about this with one of the past guests, and it's not necessarily a dollar value. It's really just a measure of, like, how happy you are as a person. Like, if you're doing something that makes you just genuinely happy, then you're wealthy. You're rich.
Yeah, that's wealth.
Yeah.
And that can determine success also. And that's kind of a big thing that I have learned throughout my life, is that success doesn't necessarily mean you're making a ton of money, or you have, like, the latest purse or the newest clothes. That has materialism has nothing to do with success. Success is if you're doing something you love and it makes you happy. If you're going for a walk every day and that was your goal, you might feel success. But someone could, like, success is there's a different definition for everybody, because it means something different to everyone.
Yeah, and I don't really want to sound like Joe Rogan, because, everybody wants to sound like Joe Rogan, but he asked a lot of his guests, like, what's the meaning of life? And it's pretty crazy how, like, everybody kind of has a different answer to that. And same thing with wealth, same thing with everything. And just really all it boils down to is, like, if you are living a fulfilling life to yourself, then you are technically successful. You're technically, like, ahead of the count or something like that, but yeah, and, like, I was talking to my neighbor in Orlando who is a professional drummer, and I was just kind of picking his brain on how to grow social media and everything, because he has a pretty decent amount of followers and stuff. And I definitely want to talk to you about this, because I know that you and, like, a couple of your friends have a pretty big following on Instagram and TikTok or whatever. But, like, what do people kind of look for in a good Instagram post, in a good TikTok post? Like, what kind of goes into that?
I definitely think the need to feel perfect and perfectionism is long gone, especially in, like, mentality. Like, nobody feels the need to have the perfect picture anymore. I feel like it's very just, this is me, this is what I do in a day, here it is, no filter. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm enjoying that part about Instagram and just social media in general, because it's just more real. Yeah. And it's like we were talking about before, it's just, no one feels the need to compare themselves to others, because we're all just kind of doing it for fun now. It's not necessarily, this is my perfect life. This is just me being, like, me, authentically me. And I feel like that has a lot to do with, like, gaining popularity on Instagram and TikTok. and other platforms, just being real, because people like that. People don't want to see you like trying as hard as you can. Like, there's no need for that anymore, and that's the beautiful thing about just like technology changing and like society changing in general.
Yeah. So if I started vlogging on my Instagram, would you enjoy that kind of content or no?
I honestly, if you were funny, if you like were just, I don't know, that could be something that's actually like cool. Like, I get nervous, like, I don't know, making TikToks can be difficult, and like just like watching the video of me, I'm like, oh, I kind of don't look that great. Like, there was just an instance where I didn't like a photograph of me that's going in a magazine, and I'm like, oh god, like, I don't really feel like that picture looks like me, and I was like nervous, and I was feeling insecure, and I'm like, I just can't feel like that. I'm like, it's amazing that they're including me and my brand to begin with, that I don't need to worry about like how I look. Like, people know me, people know what I look like. That's something I definitely don't need to feel like insecure about anymore. And it takes time, but like, I mean, I'm really glad I've gotten to where I am with that.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I necessarily vlog. I guess if the people watching want me to vlog, I guess I'll vlog. But like, kind of going off that, I do like to go on social media and just kind of like talk to the camera, you know. Like, I tried it one time, and it took me multiple takes to even get it out. But like, I guess that's just kind of a part of it. Yeah,
no, definitely. When I'm making my TikToks and I'm doing a tutorial about how to make a bikini, how to make a Burdash bikini, I record everything and then I go over at the end and do a voiceover. My roommates hear me reciting, "Hey guys, I'm Katie," like 25 times until I get the perfect take. And that's the hardest part about it. I'm like, I just can't talk like for 60 seconds straight like that, like explaining what I'm doing. But I don't know. You get like picky at that point. But no, definitely. I feel like you starting a TikTok account with the podcast name, like an account in general for Ahead of the Count, would you just literally be like, hey guys, this is me, and this is a day in life as a podcast owner, I guess. Or like explain how a podcast works, explain the microphones. People love that stuff. And like, I feel like we just in general, the general public, we're just, I don't know, when you're doing it, you're like, people don't care about this, but people really do, and people find it so interesting. So it's like, give them the demand that they are not asking for, you know?
Yeah.
That's something that I find important with owning a business too, and just running it in general, is we need to be ahead of the demand. We need to give people what we think they need, and them not demand it from us. We need to be ahead in that way.
Hey, and I gotta chime in that we're already like this. We're filming this podcast, so we're making content right now. You could throw that up on a TikTok, maybe.
Yeah.
Make some cool clips in there. I don't know.
Definitely, and that's something you need to utilize, because you're taking this video, use it. Like, I'm gonna post this on my TikTok and my Instagram just to, I don't know, makes people interested. When I like write a sappy like, guys, I thank you so much for buying bikini. Like, it obviously is meaningful, but it's like cringy for me to almost write like, thank you guys so much. Like, it means so much to me. But people love that because it's like authentic, and people want to see like what you're doing and like why you do what you do. And I feel like it's important to kind of showcase that and be like transparent with your consumer.
Dang, yeah, that's probably some of the best insight I've gotten as far as like social media and everything. So
wow, thanks.
Thank you.
That is the truth, baby.
I guess we can always go on a tangent after this, but excuse me. Like, how do you keep yourself motivated to like do all the things that you've done?
I'm gonna be very honest right now. It gets really tough. I struggle with anxiety. So like when I kind of am overwhelmed, it's a mess. Everything is just chaotic. Everything's unorganized. It just seems like I need to just lay in my bed and cry about it all day. But I realize that that's not gonna get me anywhere. And the fact of the matter is, if I want what I'm doing to like work, I have to just pull myself together. And even if it's really tough, just go sit outside in the sun for like 10 minutes, eat a snack, get myself back in the like mindset of like, this is something I love doing, and I'm not gonna let just feeling overwhelmed or like doubtful pull me down, because like this is going up. Like, so many people believe in me, and I look to like the support of my friends and my family. Like, no one would be supporting me. No one would be buying my bikinis if they didn't think that they were good, you know? So I kind of have to stop feeling like a lack of confidence in that and know that what I'm doing a really good job at it. And it might feel really stressful and like, it might feel like I'm not doing as best as I can, but it's okay to take a break. I can take a day break. I can take a week break and I can get back to it and like put myself back together and get everything done. I feel like it's important to know that you are allowed to have a break. And you can like take a day to just relieve yourself, take a bubble bath, go for a walk. I just do the stuff that like makes me feel at peace and like comfortable and just kind of gets me back to like the person I am. Because I know I'm hardworking. I know I can do what I put my mind to. Just when you get in that mindset where you're just kind of like doubting yourself, it can get really tough to throw yourself back together.
Yeah, I struggle with that a lot. I'm definitely one of those people that always feel like I have to be doing something. And whenever I'm not doing something, I always freak out like I'm missing out on something. I'm missing out on an opportunity or whatever. And I would say like starting the podcast and, just kind of this phase in my life, I've definitely been actively kind of trying to like just, be okay, just relax for a little bit. Because I definitely, for a while, I felt like I just like couldn't. I don't know. It was weird. So
that's how I am too. I feel like I always have to be doing something. And it's difficult running this business as a college student because I don't have a studio. I do everything in my apartment, in my bedroom. So when you're in that small little shoebox space and you're doing your homework in there, you're making your business work in there, you're sleeping in there, it can get really chaotic and you just feel like a lack of peace because that's where everything is, in that one sacred space.
Yeah. I think a lot of people would need to hear this, but like how important is it for you to kind of just get out of the house and go do like something just away from your working space?
Today I went and I treated myself to Starbucks coffee and a croissant, and I went on a drive around FSU campus because I just felt like it. And I was like, I kind of need this just like inner peace of just like driving and doing something aimless and mindless. And it made me even realize how beautiful FSU is and that I need to get out of the house more and just walk around campus because that's there. Why am I not doing that? And it was just like a nice peace of mind moment where I was like, this is so amazing. And I'm so lucky to be here. I'm so lucky to be going to FSU because a lot of people don't have the same opportunities that we all do in this room. So just kind of being grateful and expressing gratitude towards the small things, like driving around campus, just kind of gives you more of a deeper meaning of life.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think that one of the most slept on things of being a Florida State student is the campus that we have. And
it's gorgeous.
It kills me that I don't have any classes on campus this semester because just going to the campus for some reason just kind of just excites me. I don't even know what it is about it, but yeah. I miss it a lot. I definitely am ready to.
You'll have to join me and Natalie. Like once a week, Natalie and I go sit on Landis, and we just enjoy like being present in the moment and just sitting there in the grass of Landis Green, looking at Strozier Library. You're like, wow, it's nice to be an FSU student.
Yeah, it is nice to be an FSU student, and I feel like a lot of people don't get it.
People don't understand that. Like, we are Knowles. That sounds funny. This is like a silly conversation, like a silly topic, but it is a lot. Like, we worked hard to get where we are, and the school has offered me more opportunity than I could have ever like asked for. Without FSU, I wouldn't have had Burdash bikinis. Without FSU, I wouldn't have met my best friends. So the school has given so much to me, and I'm forever thankful. Like, I'm graduating, so I'm like done in a couple months. So having these last final moments to just be a part of the campus again. Like, COVID sucks. It sucks that I didn't have classes on campus for the past 3 semesters, but being able to just like live in like the college moment again. Like, now that COVID's kind of like delinquent, like it's kind of.
Everybody's got to be conscious and aware that COVID's still a thing. However, if you've been locked in the house for days, go out and do something.
Go for a walk.
Go do something. You need to get out of the house. it's not good for somebody to stay in a room for too long. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
I definitely think like quarantine was hard, but being able to just, I don't know, find a hobby. Like I found a hobby in sewing and it turned into my business and something that I love doing. Would I ever think a year ago if you would have asked me, hey Katie, like, would you ever consider creating a business? I would have been like, fuck no. Like, no way. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm gonna work for someone. I'm my own boss now and I would never like think differently. Like I have created a brand that I'm so proud of and I did it all by myself. I don't know, I created something and it's just I would have never thought that I could have done that before. So having like just I don't know, like nothing leads you to something. And quarantine, it's like, wow, that sucks. Quarantine sucks. I don't want to sit at home all day. But I was like, okay, yeah, maybe I'll like learn how to sew. Like I'll sew again. Like I did that when I was little. Maybe I can do that again. And I did it and I created a business. Like that's crazy. And I look back on that and I'm like, how did I do that? Like it doesn't make any sense. And it just seems like a dream. It seems like I've been dreaming for the past year and like creating all these different collections. I had no idea I had a talent in fashion designing. Someone called me a fashion designer the other day and I was like, huh? What are you saying? Like, but I am a fashion designer and I own that now. Like that is something I love doing and I wouldn't have had it if like COVID didn't happen. I know COVID is a very sensitive subject.
All right, so that kind of leads into the concluding question, which is what does being ahead of the count mean to you?
If you have a passion for something, if you want to be an advocate for something, you need to own that and you can't let other people try and bring you down for feeling the way that you feel. If you have a passion for making bikinis, that's your passion. And like, I feel like I have this passion for not necessarily designing and being a fashion designer and creating swimwear, but I have a passion for helping women feel the most beautiful that they can feel. I've always struggled with like insecurity, just as every woman has, and I've seen my friends feel insecure too. So being able to just give my friend a pep talk, say you're beautiful, like look in the mirror and tell yourself that because that's what it is. And then I kind of tie that into Burdash Bikinis because Burdash Bikinis is about feeling beautiful in what you're wearing, and if you can put on a bikini and feel confident and feel stunning and like you literally own the beach, you're a boss, and that's what I want people to see when they're wearing their swimwear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what you said about being ahead of the count, you do a really good job of like plugging that into your brand. It's pretty obvious that you really care about it, and I think it's really great that you've been that far ahead.
Yeah, you are ahead of the count, that's for sure. So, Caitlin, plug your Instagram so then everybody is aware, or I guess your social media in general. But
you can follow me at Caitlin Burdash and follow my bikini account at Burdash Bikinis.
And then, yeah, we'll have it on the screen and everything like that. But we really appreciate you being on here, Caitlin, and we hope to see you back for maybe a part 2.
You guys are amazing, and I had so much fun talking to you. I feel like it's been able to make me understand more about myself and what my brand means to me.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, that's kind of what we hope to do, so thank you for that. Yeah, everybody listening, everybody watching, we really appreciate you guys taking the time to, be a part of this conversation. And, check out our Instagram and everything, too. We got a lot of good stuff coming on the way. Thanks again for watching. All right, guys.